since we're talking about recording, let's talk about the modern recording technology. There's a lot of musicians, mostly possibly the older ones, that would say that the Pro Tools and the copy-paste thing, that it takes away from the feel and the soul of the music. Would you agree with that, or is it just another tool that you can, utilize the way you want to?
It's a tool, but it's definitely a tool, and you still have to be in control what you want as an artist. If you realize that copy and paste things, that you overuse that and it really influences your music in a way that you don't want. I mean, with Pro Tools or Logic or whatever you use, you can still do whole takes. No one stops you. There's no police that opens the studio door and says, "Wait a second, you have to." You have to, and even no one says you have to play to a click, right? It's just that then when you edit stuff, it's much easier to have it done with click, because so we sometimes get led to these things a little more, but then it's really on us to then say, or even if we are the own producers of the recording, it's easy to really decide, like, which vibe do we want to have. And for my bands, for example, with the Moving Parts record, for example, I love bleed. We record all in one room, we record without a click, we do whole takes, and so I'm free to do that. But when I copy it to another hard drive, or when I master it or something, there is no quality loss, and it has both sides. Sometimes the vintage gear and everything was better is a little bit over. I mean, it's basically leaving the responsibility away of how you produce. You still are free to produce and only use 2 mics on a digital recording. If you use great preamps and if you only use 3 mics for the drum set, you will get a very vintage sound. And if you really focus on getting a good vibe, that's up to you. And for some aesthetics, it's great to not do that. To trigger and to loop, and it's a certain other aesthetic that you get that you don't get otherwise. So it's not good or bad, it just is.
True. How do you prepare for a studio session? I mean, do you like to memorize the tracks, or how much space do you leave for last moment improv, things like that?
Really depends which context it is. I mean, if you talk about a very traditional studio session, I mean, in school, and still in school, that's being taught that you get your charts, you have to be good at sight reading, you have to define which style it is, then you go in, you find out the form, you mark all the things, you talk to the producer, you talk to the songwriter, and then because, time is precious, you do your thing and blah, blah, blah. In my experience, because of the record scene went away that much, I, for example, record a lot in my own studio and then send it out, so I can do whenever I want and as often as I want. And actually I can do it without a producer breathing down my neck. So I write emails or I do Skype conversations where I discuss the song and I try to figure out what the whole concept is of the album. I mean, in general, I would say try to find out as much as possible around what the context is, because musicality is always about context. You can only say something is unmusical if it doesn't fit within something, in the context of something else. And so be aware of the context. That's the difference between being a musician and being a drummer. A drummer is concerned with his drum stuff. A musician is concerned with the overall sound of the song, maybe the overall concept of the album, maybe the history of the songwriter, maybe what the songwriter wanted to express with the lyrics. If he sings about his dying mother or something, and you think it's a gospel chops shred fest, it's, it may not fit. So it's something that it's good to find out. But I find myself in very different recording situations nowadays, because I play with a lot of friends that I have relationships with for many years. They know me, I know them. We talk about what's going on, and most of the time there are no charts, and we just listen to a demo or something, and then we just work it out together and we record it. So that's the main thing. I don't do much advertising stuff or film music anymore. I did that in the beginning when I came to Hamburg, but The budgets were getting smaller and smaller, and I mean, honestly, it wasn't that much fun anyway. So many people complain about can't do those TV shows anymore. You know, it wasn't the best music on the planet, to be honest. And I'd rather, you know, when I was in Hamburg in the beginning, I really focused on, I said I don't want to play any cover music anymore. Don't call me for any cover gigs, which was financially almost a death penalty at first. but it then led to, I said I only want to develop music with people, like their own music with people, and I want to develop my own music as well. So this is what I do now, and those other studio jobs are very, very seldom.
Okay, the thing that you're about to do just now, just in about an hour, is a slightly different thing, because you are not on stage with people.
Right.
You're there yourself. So a clinic is a slightly different experience.
Yeah.
So when you started doing these things, what was the plan you had? What do you want to leave the people that come to your clinics with when they go home?
Yeah. See, clinics were an important part of my education, so I was always traveling a lot to see people play, and there were always things that were bothering me, always things, not always, but often things where I was like, this was a great clinic, but, and sometimes there were great artists who played wonderful music, and then the explaining part was weird, or their attitude was weird, or how they handled questions. It was very easy to feel stupid as the audience, be like, and then they said things like, you know what, I don't know how I do this, I just always could do this, and I was blessed with a great time feel, and it always made me feel super bad, because I certainly wasn't blessed with great time feel from the beginning. I had to work on it, so it made me feel inferior, and I was like, oh shit. And sometimes there were people who were explaining wonderfully, were great teachers, but the playing was, like the music part was not that convincing to me. And sometimes both was great, and it was super serious. And I was like, oh, this is not fun at all. I mean, it sounds great, and I get information, but it's not enjoyable. If it's not fun, why do it? So I came up with the formula for myself. I have a couple of criteria that I want to have in my clinics, and if I meet those criteria, I would say it's a good clinic. The first one is, I want to play good music. I want to be a musician that really does the songs that I play justice. For me, that means I'm not in a mindset of, those drummers will find that impressive. But I really want to play music like I would with other people. And then I'll play a solo, but still I want to do it in a musical way, and where I want to have melody in there, I want to have form in there. I don't want to play just to impress or something. I want to develop motives and ideas and stuff, and I want to have the improvisation in there as well, even if it's just with my ideas and developing them further and trying to search for new things. So I want to have spontaneity, I want to have good music, then I want to really be able to inspire people. That means for me that I don't pretend that I'm better than them, because I'm not. I'm clearly not. And to give them the feeling, hey, we're all in the same boat, and I'm struggling with things, you're struggling with things, maybe I can help you with some stuff. I could certainly learn something from you, so that's how it goes. And then I try to be silly as well. I try to be enjoyable and entertaining, because I still think it's something that people want to go out to and have fun. And I don't take myself very seriously. I take music and drumming very seriously. I take the art form seriously, but I don't take myself very seriously, because I know how stupid I sometimes am, so I want that to shine through, because it's an important part of, I think, what a musician is, to have humor, and also to have humor in music. And the educational part, so I really want to leave them with things that they can use and not they can use when they are much better and when they come to my level, but something that they can apply to what they're doing right now. So and if I hit all of those, it's a good clinic, and I often do. Sometimes you know, every night is different, but usually I have a lot of fun with people, and it's very enjoyable.
Yeah.